season 3 of Charmed. It is happening. It is back. How does it feel to be back?
It feels great. It feels like after everything we went through in 2020, it's nice to have a sense of normalcy, and we're back on the air, and it's great. It's nice to chat with the fans about it and just relive it for a second time.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we've had fresh TV on our screens. I know I was going a little bit nuts there for a while because I was just like, I just want more new episodes of everything.
Totally. People want new content. So I'm really grateful that we're able to provide that, but also that I get to work right now.
That's true. Yeah. Now, you guys, I mean, is it normal being back like that? You said that sense of normalcy. Obviously, things have changed for filming procedures and whatnot. But I mean, is it how different is it on set?
It is quite different. In the beginning, it was quite an adjustment. There's a lot of protocols, 3 tests a week, everything we could possibly do to make it a safe environment, which took a while to get used to, but now it's kind of just part of daily flow. And yeah, it feels safe, which is most important.
Good, absolutely. Now, you guys had to kind of wrap up season 2 a little bit earlier than you would have liked. 19 ended up being your finale, as opposed, it was going to be 22?
Yes, I think you're, 22.
Yeah, so 19 ended up being a finale, and it ended up working, though. You answered the major questions, and now you kind of dive back into season 3, but you very much piggyback right off where you were. You kind of just pick things up and keep them going. How is that, I mean, once we sort this out, how is that going to transition through the rest of the season into what would have been kind of your finale, into that natural break?
I think it just kind of is what we did is, or what the writers and the showrunners did, it kind of becomes a new season, I think episode 3. Mm-hmm. So we're just hoping that audiences will go with that, and we pack up and take care of everything that is happening with what's happening right now. Yeah, there's a lot. And then we kind of find ourselves in a bit of a new circumstance, new roadblocks, new problems, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of new stuff this season that I think people are going to really enjoy.
Absolutely. So, getting into all of that stuff that we kind of left off with, I almost said season 1, episode 1 of the new season. Words are a thing I can do, I promise. Episode 1, a lot happens. Arguably, one of the biggest things, though, is near the very end there, Julian kind of sees that he's been pretty well played. He's been
duped,
yeah, he has been masterfully manipulated. What does that mean for Vivian going forward? Because now she's lost a key player on her side. Does that make her, I would assume, angry, a more formidable opponent for the Charmed ones?
Yeah, definitely. I think she emerges as a villainess for sure. I can't really say how, but she definitely is sort of grasping at straws and doing whatever she can to maintain power. So sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
We're familiar with that narrative. But yeah, it makes for an interesting couple of first episodes for sure.
Very conqueror-esque of her to want.
Yes. Indeed.
It's gonna think on that one for a little bit. Now, obviously, for Maggie, things are a little bit new this season. We had this big blow up in 2:18. You had this big blow up with Ray, and you've got these powers shooting out of you, which just is super cool. But as we see in this first episode, they might be a little bit bigger and a little bit more uncontrollable, than she would think. It's new magic. So how is she going to grapple with that in this season?
I think, it's the first sort of physical manifestation of Maggie's powers, because she's always had the passive powers. And so it does take a while to sort of figure them out, make friends with them. As we saw in the first episode, there are some snafus with Mel, and a little bit. But she definitely finds her way, and I think it's a very powerful, useful tool to have in her arsenal for sure.
Well, you've described Maggie's powers before as being intrusive, that they were very much the ones that she can hear everything. This is even more so. This isn't just hearing what people are thinking. This is controlling and manipulating what people are feeling. So this is a lot of responsibility on her shoulders.
It's a lot for sure. And I think we do see that there will be consequences depending on how she decides to use them, and to just be really aware of her intentions, using them for good.
Mm. That's a fun little balance. That's always a struggle.
Yeah.
Is figuring
Yeah.
out that good and too much at first.
Yes. Absolutely.
So in using them, I mean, she did have that big blow up in 218 right before the finale where she's just, I mean, she says it outright. She says, I'm pissed. And like, yes, girl, we love voicing our feelings.
Love it. Yes.
But what kind of headspace does that put her in going into, I guess, technically these last couple episodes, like season 2-3 hybrid? What headspace is she going in with?
I think she's pretty frustrated. I think there's a lot of stuff that she hasn't really worked through, not only magically, but also with her family. I think she has a personal journey that she needs to embark on, which she does in season 2, sort of in the later episodes. But in these first couple episodes, I think she kind of has to put that aside and just conquer.
Go around, power through, girl.
Yes, power through.
It is, and it's hard. And in this first episode, you know, speaking of the family dynamic, of course, there's this moment, I guess it's moments technically, where Harry asks her a very big ask, a very big favor, asks her rather to change his feelings, to manipulate his feelings. Now, obviously, it doesn't happen. We don't get to that point, but you don't talk to your sister at all about it. There's a look that Macy gives you at the very end there. Is that a conversation that we're going to see happen?
That's a good question. Everything kind of has blended together. I don't know that they actually address it, but I think as Maggie gets to know her powers, I think her gut reaction when we did that scene in the first episode was, this feels like something that is not my business. Like, I shouldn't be, that's intrusive and unfair. So that, there are some boundaries there that definitely need not be crossed.
Right. Because you see them sitting all around the table at the end discussing, you know, is Julian really going to help? Which is a fair question in and of itself. But there's this look that you get from Madeline, from Macy, and the eyebrows shoot up as soon as she says, like, we learned that magic can't solve everything. There's that pointed sister glance.
Exactly.
So
I mean,
there's a lot of at some point.
Totally.
Now, in the love department, obviously there are some struggles for everyone except Maggie in this first episode. We've got, you know, Mel and Ruby kind of sorting out their issues, which will be continually sorted, I'm sure. We've got Macy and Harry figuring out their thing. You do kind of drop a little something though about Mr. Jordan, that he's putting out vibes that you gotta push away. What can you tease about that relationship this season? Because they've got a great friendship so far.
They do. I think they have a really lovely friendship. And it's kind of, it just gets complicated because it's that thing that you want, but you know you can't have, and it's just the timing of it all. And so it becomes, you know, a matter of safety, really. And it's really interesting seeing their dynamic sort of like shift and morph, and you know, you can tell what they want but they can't express it. I think it's actually just a really lovely friendship. Perhaps something more.
Well, so in your mind, just as Sarah, as playing Maggie, are you really ready to step into something new romantically, given everything that has happened to her up to this point?
I think she needs to focus on herself right now. I think she's been through a lot. Season 3 throws a lot at the Charmed ones. I think she says so. She says, this is the year of me. That's something that Maggie says a couple times in the first little bit of third season. And I love that. I think she does need to focus on herself. And then if something happens naturally and it's easy, great. It fits in with her witch world, because that's really priority number 1 is saving the world and her sisters.
No big deal. You know what? I just gotta save the world. We can do this relationship thing after.
Yeah,
Focus. I'll get to you in a minute.
Exactly.
Being a witch is complicated, and that's
It
kind of
is.
how it is. Now, it is so complicated, but there is kind of this ominous feeling, especially because in your season 3 trailer, it's I believe it's Macy saying it, where it's the destruction of the Sisterhood is inevitable. That doesn't really give me warm fuzzies, Sarah.
No, I know. I'm right there with you. I felt those feels whilst reading the scripts. But, you know, without giving too much away, I guess they're smart girls. They'll always kind of find a way. They're smart women, I should say. They always find a way, no matter what that really looks like. You know, sacrifices will be made, but ultimately they are each other's priority. So, yeah.
There's so much secrecy in this. It feels it's almost like a
I know.
Like you want to know all these things.
Totally.
And you can't tell me, and I want, okay, but I will not push you for spoilers, but you know, sacrifices being made. What's really interesting to me is that the Charmed Ones really have this big network of people who want to help them. And it's just a matter, like you said, of safety. So when is that point? Is there a point where the women will reach that point where it's like, you know what, we need the help, consequences be damned?
I think there is, yeah. I think there is a point in multiple episodes where their hands are tied, and it's time to take the help, even though it might not feel good. Yeah, there's a few great new characters, whether they're magic or not, and then we have our pre-existing characters who also are strong and capable. So yeah, there's they have a lot of people at their potential disposal.
It's just a matter of accepting the help, which I suppose is hard for them.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So if you had to pick just 3 words, power of 3, here we go, 3 words to describe this season off the top of your head, what are they?
Ooh, okay. Epic, edgy, powerful.
I like it. I like that you went straight to epic. Edgy and powerful came secondary, but epic was like
epic for sure. Epic. Yeah, I really do think it is epic. And as a bonus, I'll throw in the word love. There's a lot of
lots of love. I like the love that goes with it. Yes. Feels very now I do have just one question out of curiosity, just because I'm a Descendants fan as well, as I'm sure everybody is, / what my friend and I talk about Queen of Mean all the time. We're in our 20s.
Oh my God.
Like, Queen of Mean is such a bop. It's great.
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
But who's gonna win in a magical battle of witches or battle of wits, whatever? Who's gonna win? Audrey with her scepter. We're talking like Queen of Mean Audrey, or Maggie and the Charmed Ones?
I have to go with Maggie and the Charmed Ones.
Is it because
Maggie?
Power 3?
Yes, it is the power 3, but also I think Maggie and the Charmed Ones have the best interest. Like, their interests are pure, whereas when Audrey has that power, she's kind of out every man for himself type thing. And yeah, I just think good always prevails. So
I like it.
It would be a really interesting duel, though.
It would be, wouldn't it? Because the physicality, because Audrey relies on her scepter, and that's all I kept thinking about as I was watching the premiere, especially because you've got this physicality to your magic, and it's very fun. And that was all I kept thinking about. I was like, God, I really want to see a magical battle between Audrey and Maggie and the Charmed Ones.
Listen, that would be amazing. That would be a pretty cool crossover.
Yes, we'll make it happen. Right after the musical episode happens, we're going to get a Descendants cross.
Yeah, exactly.